If I had to start over from $0, I'm gonna let you guys know what I would do. I was able to do roughly $80,000 in my personal account this month. And I don't do that to boast or brag. I just want to show you guys where I'm coming from. Obviously, it's not as much as it has been in the past. I've done a lot more, especially like during COVID. You can go to my old videos and whatnot, but to me, it's just all about being consistent and, just keeping up with the income, right? But to me, it's all about just being consistent and, maintaining. If you're new to the channel, I got into this roughly over 10 years ago. I started with a heat press with around $500. Bought my first heat press off of Craigslist, or was it Facebook Marketplace, and a vinyl cutter. You can pretty much find some affordable t-shirt printing equipment online, because a lot of people just give up on themselves and then they see how difficult it can be to get those first few initial sales. And one thing to really think about is that there's multiple business models within this t-shirt printing, decoration printing industry. There's three main core ones, which is going to be you doing bulk printing, you doing mostly B2B, business to business printing for other brands or other businesses. Most of the time this leads you into screen printing and contract printing, doing a lot of bulk orders. For most of you all, you may have a clone brand and you want to build up your own personal brand and you want to get your brand out into the world. So you want to, sell your own unique designs and whatnot. Then you have more of a general store style brand and marketplace style designs, which is what I have most success with. Basically, you're selling any t-shirt out there that sells birthday t-shirts, Christmas shirts, Valentine's shirts, and so forth. I've had success in each and every single lane, but my most explosive sales just came from selling whatever is actually selling direct to customer. And the reason why I say that is because I know you're probably starting off with your own brand, and then you see there's ways to get money in both of the other ways: B2B, business to business, printing for other people, and also doing marketplace style designs whatsoever. When you're stuck in all three lanes, it's going to be hard for you to dedicate your time to one thing, and it's going to take you longer to actually see success when you're just chasing dollars here, and dollars there. Now, way further down the line, you can go down the three lanes, but in the very beginning, I made the same mistake by trying to go down every single lane at one time. Pick the one that you want to be really good at and go hard at that one. I will say the clone brand side is going to be the hardest because most people think they have the best designs in the world. You should have that confidence in your own designs and your own creativity. You should have that cockiness, and that's what you want to do. You want to show off your brand. But the problem with this a lot of times is you have to prove your audience. You have to find a reason for your audience to love your brand as much as you love your brand. And this one right here will require the most marketing, the most amount of creativity when it comes to creating content or doing advertising or getting the word out there about your brand and your story and so forth. And I'm not trying to say all of that to scare you. I'm saying all of that so that you can become better at those things. Now, when your brand becomes successful, this one right here will have the most lucrative profit margins. You with your brand, when it works, it's going to work, and you will have crazy margins, crazy profit margins when it comes to building your own brand. And when it comes to marketplaces like myself, profit margins a little lower. You will still have a better profit margin than you will with B2B, but there's no creativity in it. There's no passion to it. You're just printing and designing whatever sells. There is a little bit of passion that comes to it if you're focused on particular niches that you're a little bit more passionate about. But a lot of times this does not require as much marketing work because you are focused on designs that customers already look for, customers already want it. An attachment to the designs, they need it for some particular reason, whether they're passionate about it or it's an event, it's a holiday, it's something about it where it requires them to actually need the product more than they need a brand design. For example, a birthday shirt, they need the birthday shirts for a birthday party. A wedding's coming up, they need some wedding t-shirts or sweatshirts, hoodies, whatever it may be. They need something that's related to a wedding because that's an event that's coming up for them and they need it for a reason. Now, when it comes to business printing, you just printing t-shirts all the time. Most of the time this comes in bulk, really high volume. You're gonna have a lower margin here. However, the volume makes up for all of it. Now, the reason why I mentioned these three things is because I didn't have any clarity when I first started, and I want you to really look at all these three things really hard and see which ones the money is coming the most from. Look at the ones that you're most passionate about, and then also look at which one you understand the most and you feel like you could scale. So you may have your clone brand, it's not making you any money, but you're highly passionate about it and you feel like it could scale a whole lot. Then maybe within the next month or two, the next 30-60 days, you need to spend some time with that one to make sure that you can get some money coming in for that. Because if there's no money coming in for that, then you don't have a business there, you're gonna have a hobby. Now let's look at your next one. If you're doing B2B printing, business to business printing, that one's bringing you in the most amount of money, you're probably not incredibly passionate about it, but you know you have an idea of how to scale it, that might need to be your next thing that you're going to just go all in on, because that's going to make you the money. And then whenever you really scale that, you start to put systems in place for that, then you could probably take some of that money and invest into your brand so it's no longer a hobby. For myself, I juggled things for quite some time, but eventually I somehow just landed into the marketplace world, selling on Etsy, Amazon, and so forth. It was making me a whole lot of money. I knew I could possibly scale it, but I really didn't have a huge passion for it. So I did dread building the thing up for a while, but after a while I really understood how to hire new designers, how to hire people to ship out for us, to print and so forth, before we did a full jump to print on demand. And also, even when we do print on demand, we find certain products that are profitable in-house. We still take over on some products and whatnot, do it in-house. It taught me a lot. And even though I wasn't entirely passionate about that, the money that just came in like relieved a lot of stress off of my shoulders. Sometimes it's hard to focus on something that you have a whole lot of passion about if no money is coming in, because then it puts you in a really stressful position and you won't really have that clarity thinking forward. So when you're just starting off, also think about that, because finances and money do put a lot of stress on your shoulders, and when you start to need to make more business decisions, you won't be able to make those decisions clearly. So if I had to start over, one thing I would tell myself is that passion is not everything. And I know that sounds crazy, because most people say if you're not doing what you love, then you're going to be miserable. And I did kind of think that way, and I wanted to, build a brand. But the brand in the beginning wasn't bringing me in crazy lucrative income, and it was building too much stress upon me. I realized bringing in a whole lot of money made me love what I was doing. And I'm not saying I did it for the love of the money, but it was what the money did, and it relieved a lot of stress off of my shoulders. And now I'm in a position where I can do something else that I love to do. So it's easier to look at where the money is coming in and just go harder at that, and then put yourself in a position where you feel more financially free so you can do the things that you're more passionate about. And I know that's not typical advice, and you probably want me to tell you to go after your passion and your dreams and whatever it may be. I'm not saying that you can't, but just look at the things that you're doing now and see what would be the most helpful. This video is slightly different from most of the videos on the channel. Feel free to let me know if this helped you out down below. Feel free to give me a comment. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next one.